Good day. I'm Martin Gagel with Market Radius Research. It's Thursday, November the 10th, 2022. We've got CEO Fred Dugre of H2O Innovations joining us. H2O is a global provider of water purification products and services for the municipal and industrial markets. H2O just released their Q1 fiscal 2023 results, which again showed strong organic and acquisition growth. Fred is going to discuss the financial results and the current outlook for the company and the industry, but please remember, this is neither a recommendation or investment advice. We're here to learn about the company. Fred, thanks for joining us, and please tell us about your most recent quarter.
Well, thank you, Martin. Thanks for having me. Well, last fiscal year that just ended on June 30th was really, really busy for us. Now we're starting our new fiscal year with our Q1, also extremely busy with amazing growth. If you look at the Q1 only, revenues have reached 56 million. So this is up 46%. So this is obviously a combination of organic growth and acquisition, but just the organic growth itself is 25% on this first quarter compared to the same quarter last year, which was at 7.7%. Now, another dominant driving factor, and this is really important, and we're really happy of that, is to see the high level of recurrent revenues we have. Now, this has reached 89%. I mean, there's a business mix where this will play a little bit in favor, but it's still really high. We finished the year at 85%. Now it's 89%. But overall, we're not seeing any slowdown in the high level of recurrent revenues, which tells us also that our business is somehow pretty resilient, and to some extent, recession proof, as I said this morning. We're also growing the backlog, which is also another leading indicator of how the business, will evolve in the coming quarters. 182 million that we finished on September 30th. So this is up 48%. Again, thanks to the new projects we added in this backlog, and also thanks to the renewal and new projects of operation and maintenance that we secured. EBITDA is 5 million at 8.8% of the margins of EBITDA. This is a little bit under pressure. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but mostly coming from the inflation, material, and the wages. We feel, however, pretty confident that we will see an improvement over the coming quarters. There's a little bit of seasonality to that, but we know that for sure the next Q2 and Q3 will be extremely busy. So let's say that we usually have a small first quarter with a percentage of EBITDA, and then it improves over the course of the year. A couple of years as well, so we're happy of that.
On the revenue growth, there are two factors, or maybe two or three factors growing here. A, you're in a growth industry. The industry is the need for water systems is just improving. And let's just say on a big scale, it's a massive industry. You're gaining market share. You're growing faster than the industry as a whole. Those are the two main factors.
That's right. I mean, we're growing because we're still small. Let's put it this way, and we're nimble. So we're adding more sales resources. We have expanded our distribution network. And what is a big differentiator is that the innovation and the green chemistry and the green products we're having and putting forward for the customers, as well as all our business solutions now, are being more and more demanded by industrial customers as well. So this is why we have so much traction that is resulting into this terrific organic growth. And we have no indication that this is going to slow down in the coming quarters.
All right.
If we look at each of our business, starting with the operation and maintenance, well, this team, there's two things that is really important in what we do. Is not only to grow the business by adding new contracts, but it's to make sure that you preserve what you have in two ways. First, you renew the existing projects you have in your portfolio. And second, you look for ways to make money on the edges, right? And this is coming from scope of work expansion. And we have been very, very performant in adding a lot of scope expansion in what we do. So in this quarter only, we renewed two projects, one in the state of Georgia, the other one in New Hampshire. We added another large project in the state of Texas. This is for an initial 2-year term. And we're expanding also, as I said, with additional scope of work expansion. So this is why this backlog is growing, at 135 million. This is up 66% almost from last year. Again, this is a leading indication of what's coming up for the coming quarter. So we feel pretty good about the future of this business as well.
And just to make sure everyone knows what you're talking about, operations and maintenance is where you're running the municipal water system for a city or a county or something. You've got guys in boots and trucks driving around, making sure that the water is properly being cleaned and getting to the customers.
Exactly. So we're the day-to-day, we're the municipal operator, right? We're supporting the public work activity. We're supporting all the requirements around compliance, around the certification, making sure we manage the cost properly, making sure, as we said, that we deliver clean, safe drinking water. We collect the wastewater as well. And we do a lot of billings as well. We're issuing about 45,000 bills on a monthly basis to all different taxpayers. So they're the one, paying their water bills, their water tax every month. So this is additional services that we're providing to our municipal customers.
And is with municipalities outsourcing those operations, is that generally a trend that's going on, or is it already out there and you're just sort of taking business from other guys offering this, or is it like it's sort of insourced and it's going towards outsourced, and that's a growing opportunity for you?
So it is a growing opportunity. It is a growing trend. So we do two things. Yes, we're capturing business, some coming from our competitors. But we're seeing more and more a tendency, generally speaking, towards privatization of public services, driven by the fact that, the population is aging as well. The pressure by the regulators is there and is not going to stop. So if you are a small municipality, a small county, with limited resources in your public work team, let's say you have a team of 10 guys, they're in charge of the water, the wastewater, the roads, everything related to public work. Well, it may end up in a situation where if your key guy will retire in the next 2 or 3 years, as there will be a lot of operators that will retire, who will take care of your water assets? So this is where a company like ours come into play and is supporting these municipalities and leverage the existing install base and install resources we have in the field. So instead of having one operators overseeing one municipality, we can have the same certified operators overseeing a group of assets, a group of municipalities within the same region, right? So this is where we're gaining some efficiency. We're helping the customers to better deal with their certification, better deal with the pressure from the regulators as well, and making sure that they stay compliant. So it is very suitable for a small, mid-sized market, let's put it this way.
One of the themes in a lot of people's financials these past 2 quarters is inflation and the cost pressures on this. You have a lot of people employed in this sector and wages are going up. How is that getting managed?
Well, this is an important challenge. I mean, this is something that we have faced. Remember in the previous call, we said that we implemented also the $15 an hour minimum wage across the company. We believe in that. We believe in the ESG. We believe in making sure that we do what is right for our employees. If we do so, we're going to keep our employees. We'll have less turnover. We'll be able to provide better service. And we don't want to be the cheap gig in town, right? We don't want to be perceived as the cheap supplier and service provider in taking care of your water and wastewater assets. So it is momentarily a challenge because yes, we face, this important inflation. On the other hand, we know that there will be time in the course of the year, in the coming moments, where we will be able to justify CPI adjustment on our pricing contract as well. So this will allow us to catch up on margins, reduce this difference. But I believe that we had no choice to push forward these cost increases into our wages in order to first keep our people and make sure we provide the right service to our customers. Then they will come back to us moving in time, and the customer will continue to support us with CPI adjustments.
And the CPI adjustments are already baked into the contract. So it's maybe a little lagging where they only catch up at the end of the year, but they are there. That's
right. So if let's say today we're in November, but I have on a specific municipal contract, a CPI adjustment at my anniversary date, which is February, well, I will have to wait February City Council to approve the CPI adjustment to kick in, right? So this is why there might be this delay between, what I'm currently giving as a raise to my employees and adjustments versus what I'm going to get from my customers.
All right, that makes sense.
If we move to the following pillar, the WTS, well, it was an amazing first quarter, very, very busy with sales activity, 10 new projects secured There's 6 of them that were for industrial customers. So this is part of our strategy to focus more on the industrial side of the business. We added $12 million to the backlog. So now the backlog finished at $46 million at the end of this quarter. If you look at all the activity currently going on, Martin, I mean, you see that 37 projects are under engineering phase and 10 only are into fabrication. Now, the way it works is that you'll go from engineering to fabrication to commissioning, and then, your final delivery. So it is for sure that when we're going to move the 37 project, we'll move to fabrication where we usually recognize most of the revenues. It's going to ramp up. So we feel pretty confident that in the coming quarters, we will see a significant increase into revenue recognition coming from these new projects.
Of those 37, how many would we expect those to fall into fabrication in like your second and third quarter, or are some of them having longer lead times and it could take longer? Is there a typical?
Some have long lead time. As you know, in the construction world, I mean, things tends to be a little bit delayed all the time. But I mean, if there might be 1 or 2 that get delayed, we have sufficient projects overall to carry over and see, still these revenue increase moving forward. So we should see a great number of projects of significant size also that are going to hit positively our coming quarters, including one. I was in Minneapolis last week, and I saw, the progress currently happening in our shop with large skids being manufactured and assembled for the city of San Diego. This is our single project. This is our single largest project in our backlog. It's a $10 million job, and now it is hitting our P&L. It is hitting, our fabrication schedule. So this is exciting, and this is why we think that, we're on a good track, for revenue growth in this business.
The awarded 10 contracts, 4 in the municipal space and 6 on the industrial space. You try to have a balance there, but you said before that the industrial side has better margins and sort of you have a bit of a preference towards those better economics associated with it. Is this basically a strategy, and are we seeing the fruition of this strategy in these kind of numbers?
Yeah, it is by design. It is definitely a focus of us to try to pursue more industrial opportunities for multiple reasons, as you said, for the economics reasons, but also the fact that usually the revenue cycle for an industrial project is a little bit more faster. So many industrial projects will be, signed and then, get delivered within the same fiscal year. So this is the kind of thing that we're going after as well. And then the fact that, industrial customers are more susceptible to use our consumables as well once we get these projects delivered. So this is why also we try to focus slightly more on that.
On the backlog, what kind of ratio are you able to tell us? What sort of ratio is in that between municipal and industrial?
Well, if you look at it backwards and what we have in the backlog now, I would say it's almost equal because of the latest push that we have done. Before, it used to be like 30 to 40% was industrial only, and the remaining was largely municipal, like 60 to 70% was municipal. Now we're approaching a range of 50-50 in the backlog because of the recent wins that we have done more towards the industrial. So it's moving in the right direction for us, and we're happy with that.
There's a lot of talk about the economy slowing. Are you seeing any weakness? Probably not so much on the municipal side, but on the industrial side, are you seeing sort of any sense of economic weakness from those customers?
We haven't seen any so far, frankly. I think the industrial companies also are pursuing maybe an agenda that is not only driven by the financial microeconomy, but by the agenda that they need to become more water independent. So this is why industrial customers are now focusing more and more on water reuse, because they do not want to depend on the supply of water from the municipality anymore. Because of the current drought, because of the current water scarcity, because of the potential price increases into the rates or the tariffs that they're paying their water or that they're paying for the disposal of water, they're saying, let's gain independency, build our own water reuse facility so that we're going to recycle this water as much as we can, reducing our dependency towards the supply of water in our processes. And then, by doing so, we're going to save potentially money or be less exposed to tariff increases. So this is a big trend we're seeing. We don't think it's going to slow down. The fact also that more and more we're starting to see a general inshoring of reshoring of manufacturing in the United States and North America, I think is a positive thing for us as well. So,
all right,
overall, I'm pretty confident. And municipal will remain no matter what. I mean, infrastructures are aging. We haven't seen yet the money started to flow down, from the stimulus money coming from the President Biden. It's a matter of time. But the overall macro, perspective are really, really favorable for water investment thesis.
Okay.
The specialty products is just like, wow. I mean, this is like just living the dream. I mean, growth is so sustained in terms of organic growth, mostly coming from all our specialty products. Even though we added, the leader in the beginning of the new fiscal year, the organic growth is just remarkable. And we see that there's a couple of things behind it. I mean, the fact that more and more our customers are recognizing the benefit of our green chemistry made in California, the benefit of having a super concentrated formulation, allowing us to save for the benefit of our customers tremendously on freight costs, reducing as well by 11 times the CO2 emission. So we have a lot of eco-friendly and green solutions to propose. And now this is just going crazy as we speak. We have expanded our distribution network. We added more feet in the ground to sell and support the local distributors. We added people in Asia. We added people in Middle East and Latin America, in Europe. So all these efforts are definitely now paying off in a big way. So
with this business, is your growth coming from, let's say, having new products and existing clients buying more of your products? Or I guess they don't, well, we like it, we're going to use more of it. Or maybe they have two suppliers for the same type of product and they're pushing more towards you. Or is it just getting new clients from new distributors in new regions?
It's all of the above. New distributors in new regions. So now we have more than 100 distributors covering 75 countries. So this is really, really good. Second, also we have more feet in the ground, more salespeople supporting different regions. This is paying off, and we have now more and more large end user, like large desalination plants, buying our products through our distributors, but they are buying our products. So as we move in time, we're getting more and more great and large references for our chemicals, including one, for Tawila that we mentioned in previous calls. Tawila is the largest single desalination plant in the world. They're located just outside of Abu Dhabi, and they are using our chemistry. So this created large, snowball effect, for other plants within the Middle East as well, where they're starting to use our product. So
this business doesn't really have a backlog per se, but it's recurring business. You buy new chemistry every month because you got to keep the facility operating. So it doesn't fall into backlog, but it's very much a recurring business.
Exactly.
All right. And going back to the specialty products, I'd like to chat about Leader briefly. You made that acquisition in the summer. You're going into the first sort of harvest season for the maple this winter. And that business it's a seasonal business, obviously. So is now the busy time, or how does that work, that seasonality?
It's extremely busy because right now we're ramping up, the production, the inventory. We're currently delivering large amount of products, large amount of systems, equipment that we have built throughout the summer and the spring. So now we're getting into the harvesting period for us. The Q2 and Q3 will be the quarters that will be extremely busy in terms of revenue recognition, allowing us to reduce this inventory, because right now we had no choice but to increase the inventory in Q1 based on high demand. I've never seen so much demand. So not only it's the acquisition of Leader, but H2O, previous business in the maple is growing tremendously. It's a combination of factors. I don't know if people are taking more or using more maple syrup when they cook or what's going on. I think there's also the willingness from the Quebec producers to benefit from the new quota that was released by the Quebec Federation, which is adding another 7 million of taps So I think producers want to capture that for them to generate additional revenue. So they need additional equipment to collect and harvest from these new taps. So we feel that it's again harvesting season for us. We want to benefit from this growth. We're well positioned, and now the addition of leaders just accelerating exponentially this growth that we're facing. So stay tuned. Q2 and Q3 will be extremely busy for revenue recognition on this business line.
No, you did this acquisition this summer. They've got complementary products, complementary regions that you're going in. Have you had much time to sort of create synergies and to fill each other's sort of sales pipelines, or is that going to be something more for next year once you sort of figure out the two businesses and then you can sort of benefit from the synergies of the two operations more? Oh
yeah, we started right away. I mean, we started right away. I would say about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we conducted our first leader in H2O distributor event in Niagara on the US side, Niagara Falls. It was a terrific event because we had all our US dealers from both companies located in the same regions, and we had 100 guests coming up. So it was a unique opportunity for us to present our strategy, to present the combined brand, to present the combined portfolio of products. And we had previously only about, I would say, 15 to 20 distributors in the US, H2O. I mean. So now with the addition of leader, we're quadrupling, this amount of distributor we have. So this is giving us an outstanding outreach with minimal overlap on the territory as well. So this is really exciting for us. And yes, we're starting to mingle also the two business together in terms of optimizing the production floor, the production strategy, what will be produced in Vermont, what will be produced in Quebec. So we're taking advantage now of the two manufacturing platform we have to optimize our cost and optimize, also the distribution of our products to the customers. So in conclusion, I mean, we're continuing to work really hard on our 3-year plan. We believe with the current growth we have, with the backlog we have, if you look at it on an LTM basis, now we have reached $202 million in terms of revenue. So if you combine all this, you compound and add up the acquisition effect, well, we will be more on the upper end of our limit that we have set, between 185 to 250. I recognize it was a large bracket, but now we feel confident to give a little bit more guidance towards the upper end of it. And this is great because most of it will be coming from the effect of acquisition, but a lot coming from organic growth. And moving forward, it will be to continue, to harvest. We think that we're well positioned to continue this high organic growth for 2024 as well. And to really, start to move up, the margins. So there's tremendous focus for us to continue to improve on margins and still be a company at double-digit EBITDA. So this is our key focus, is to continue to do that, and we have great visibility in doing it.
You're really focused on operations. You've been busy on the M&A front for the last little while. Could we see some slowdown or less emphasis, let's say, on M&A as you focus a little more internally and make sure everything's working over the next 12 months?
Yes. So frankly, the next 12 months will be mostly on harvesting what we have, built and created for us. It's a terrific opportunity just to capitalize on the organic growth we have. And the other reason is that hopefully with the current macroeconomic context, we hope that we might see a little bit of slowdown in terms of multiple that we would pay for acquisition. So let's say that we're voluntarily dragging our feet a little bit for the acquisition. We want to take first the time to harvest, deleverage a little bit our balance sheet. And as we do that over the next couple of months, next quarters or so, then we'll be in a good position again to look for other transactions. So we're not in a hurry anyway, because we've got so much good growth momentum just organically that let's just harvest what we have.
Are you seeing any changes in the competitive landscape? People like cutting prices or different innovative products threatening you, or are you on the sort of the innovative edge where you're obviously in some markets you're definitely taking market share?
Well, we are. I still feel pretty good. I mean, we cannot take it for granted, for sure. I mean, it's otherwise if you stop innovating, if you stop pushing, you're going backwards. So innovation is still in the heart of what we try to do. We have position our message also a little bit differently than what it was a couple of years ago. And this message being more around, water reuse, green solutions, sustainable solutions. So as we're providing more of these solutions and these products to our customers, and we have a high demand for this, less and less we're only being established on price, right? So we don't want to see our price being our competitive advantage, let's say. So all the strategy we have put forward, if you follow us on LinkedIn, we see that, we're very active and messaging really, really hard every day, this concept of green or green chemistry, and we want to have a positive impact on the water. So, competitive environment is still, sharp. I mean, we see some competitors, coming very hard on price, but we don't want to be this company that is perceived on winning on price also. So.
Right. You've got your AGM coming up in a few weeks here. You often update your forecasts and your 3-year plan and so forth. Is there anything investors should be looking out for to what kind of news could be or vision could be coming out there?
Well, it will be the moment for us to give the street a vision of what we're trying to achieve for 2025. As we did in the past, we provided some kind of global perspective. We'll do the same on December 6th. We're going to update of where we are now with our 3-year plan as well in terms of strategic initiatives that we put forward. There was 10 key strategic initiatives that we wanted to approach, helping us to transform and improve the business overall. We're going to update everyone on this. And we're going to update as well our numbers on ESG towards what are the things we have done, what are numbers. We believe in ESG. For us, ESG is not a plan that we put on paper only, but in H2O, we walk the talk when it comes to ESG. We have invested there. We're doing things. We're transforming this business and helping to create a better world.
All right. Fred, any final comments before we wrap up here?
Well, water investment thesis has never been as strong as it is now for reasons that you all know. I mean, between population growth, aging infrastructure, water scarcity, the new concept of water positive. So really H2O, right now we're harvesting and on what we have built, in the last couple of years. And it's a great moment for H2O, and we're really, really excited about the future.
All right, Fred, thanks a lot. Thanks for talking.
Thank you.